ever seen. Over men and horses, hoops and garters, lastly through a hogshead of real fire. In this way, Mr. K will challenge the world.
Sgt. Pepper and much of the rest of the music of 1967 clearly invited people to join the new counterculture. 2 weeks after the release of Sgt. Pepper, California offered the world the first ever pop music festival under the slogan, Music, Love and Flowers. One of the organizers was Derek Taylor.
To say then this is the first Monterey International Pop Festival was a very, very dramatic statement, because there hadn't been a pop festival in the history of the genre since whoever recorded After the Ball. There hadn't been anything as grand as a festival applied to something as trivial as pop.
It started as such a small idea and grew into something that was so enormous in concept, and all of a sudden we had big stars roaming in and out of the offices. And I remember when we got the Beatles album, the Sgt. Pepper album, we were the only people in town who had the album. Derek Taylor brought it. And there was really a feeling that there was something very, very unique and special going on, and that we were at the center of it.
Well, then I think I love, but I want to know for sure. Come in, suck it to me one more time again. Oh, shucks, I love you. We all love each other, don't we? Am I right? Let me hear you say yeah then. If you want to really roll, got to do it right with soul. Take all your money, got to do it right now. Everybody look alive to that play. I want y'all to say it one more time. Everybody get together. Say it. Everybody say it. Say it. Just a bit louder. Say it. Early in the morning. Say it. Late in the evening. Say it. Midnight hour. Say it. Everybody say it. Say it. Everybody say it. Say it. One more time. Say it. Everybody say it. Say it. One more time. Say it. Everybody do it. Say it. Oh, yeah. Say it. Oh, yeah. Say it. Stop it. Stop it. Say it. Stop it. Stop it. Say it. Just because they're right. Things they do to all. I can go again and say if I die before I get old. I can never get it. Why don't you all fade away? Honey, this can't be. Tell me, come on, tell me why, tell me why, oh baby, tell me why love, honey, why love is like, well, it's like a ball and in a chain.
For 1 second in history in California, there was really a merger. There were no cops. There were no hippies. It was just an experience that everybody shared. I don't think there were any arrests in the entire weekend. The policemen turned their faces away from pot smokers, because obviously there was a lot of that going on, but there were no arrests, and it was really wonderful, warm, experience for everyone who was there.
Monterey was hardly the setting for all these types. They didn't know quite to do with all of us. They were used to very, you know, low-key jazz bows coming in and blowing the tunes rather than a bunch of crazed hippies or runaways or whatever we were, whatever anybody else wants to call all the people that were there or all the people that managed to be part of the out fringe of Sgt. Pepper's band. That was an important moment for us to recognize that there was more than one type, and we all could be together and share the same attitudes of not just the same stage. I was particularly impressed with the attitude that somebody as far out from our spectrum as Ravi Shankar could get up and play a sitar and cut through all the jets that were taking off from local airports.
Ravi Shankar became one of the greatest influences in my life, and still to this day, I still rate him as the best musician on the planet that I've actually heard. In Indian music, it's tied into the spiritual life. And so there's no way you can seriously get involved with the classical ragas of India without finding out what's behind it. And behind everything that has any depth, you'll find the yogis of the Himalayas.
One sits down comfortably in a chair or wherever one wants, and he uses a thought that he has been given especially for himself, and starts experiencing the subtler state of thought.
Are you experiencing the subtler state of thought at this moment?
No, I am out in the gross speaking.
What do you have to do to obtain this state of thought?
Just a few instructions from a trained teacher, and one begins to experience it.
How long does it take?
About half an hour.
And how do you know when it's happened?
One begins to feel relaxed. Right from the beginning, one begins to feel some improved level of well-being.
You just feel more energetic, you know, just simply for doing work or anything. You just come out of it, and it's just, whoa, let's get going, you know.
Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock as the day begins, silently closing her bedroom door.
It's an old-fashioned waltz with an old-fashioned throbbing cello and a plashing harp and a modulation to the dominant. And then this arching little tune, which is full of hope and regret.
Wilfrid Mellors, composer and professor of music, was mocked in the 60s for taking the Beatles seriously and suggesting their music would last.
This balance between the hopeful dreams of adolescence and the regret of age is most beautifully encapsulated in the coda to this little song. The parents are singing, "We gave her everything that money could get. We struggled hard all our lives to get by," and so on. And then she's leaving something inside that was always denied for so many years. And this is going on simultaneously. But then in the little coda, after you've had the repeat of the refrain tune, it goes... The last phrase.
She's leaving home, bye-bye.
Now, marvellous. Why is that so subtle? Well, the effect is that it's been going sharpwards. From their door going sharpwards, upwards, full of hope, you see. But then the actual cadence is an amen. It's what is called a plagal cadence. And so that flattens us down, and you get that wonderful balance between the two. Well, that, I'm sure, was absolutely instinctive. The Beatles didn't say, oh, let's have a dominant modulation followed by a plagal cadence. But that's genius, you see. I mean, that's how it happens.
I was run over by the truth one day. Ever since the accident, I've walked this way. So stick my legs in plaster. Tell me lies about Vietnam. Heard the alarm clock screaming with pain. Couldn't find myself, so I went back to sleep again. So fill my ears with silver. Stick my legs in plaster. Tell me lies about Vietnam. Every time I shut my eyes, all I see is flames.
You think you got any of them yet?
Made a marble phone book, carved all the names. So coat my eyes with butter, fill my ears with silver, stick my legs in plaster, tell me lies about Vietnam. I smell something burning, hope it's just my brains. They're only dropping peppermints and daisy chains. So stuff my nose with garlic, coat my eyes with butter, fill my ears with silver, stick my legs in plaster, tell me lies about Vietnam. Where were you at the time of the crime? Down by the cenotaph, drinking slime. So chain my tongue with whiskey, stuff my nose with garlic, coat my eyes with butter, fill my ears with silver, stick my legs in plaster, tell me lies about Vietnam. You put your bombers in, you put your conscience out, you take the human being and you twist it all about. So scrub my skin with women, chain my tongue with whiskey, stuff my nose with garlic, fill my ears with silver, stick my legs in plaster, tell me lies about Vietnam.